Hey guys, today we're looking at the best spider nest spots for Klyntar. I'll also show you a few techs that you might not be using. To start off with, you want to stand here on defense, and I'll show you why now. A well-placed web snare will shut down a Doctor Strange portal, denying them the opportunity of a fast point push. This is where I like to set up almost every game. There are two options for this nest. This placement covers more high ground, and it can't be shot from main.
You have to stop them from securing the mission area.
I prefer this spot because the nest is still relatively safe, but you get the nest going down onto main, so you can easily connect webs to it. This becomes a really nasty choke to push through now, and they're probably going to look for another option. Just be aware it can be shot from here, so get mines placed down or body block the nest if you have to. If they decide to rotate right, you've got perfect high ground angles on them. Characters without any sort of mobility option will have a hard time to push the nest from the back. These are the mine spots I like to use for a full lockdown on main. And obviously, don't forget, you can put them in webs to make them invisible and indestructible. Here's a clip of this nest spot in action. It's super strong, as you can see. Black Panther almost gets insta-deleted. They decide to try and rotate, but at this point, my entire team's come up. This is just never going to end well for the enemy team. If the first spot isn't working for you, try this one. This spot's a bit further back, we've got a health pack right next to it, and we get coverage onto main. Don't use this spot, it gets destroyed way too easily. You've most likely seen or used this spot. Honestly, it's not bad, but it does get destroyed pretty easily. And I think there are better spots. You can use this spot if your support is struggling with divers. You lock down the health pack and lock down this flank route, as well as giving your supports cover. For this last spot, you get coverage onto point, coverage onto main, and you can get coverage down to this side route that they like to take. You also can't shoot the nest from main, you have to go around the side or back. We're now on stage 2, defend. Make sure you place your nest here, don't put it on top of this stuff because it goes all weird. This is a strong spot to defend, they're going to have to burn ults or get some lucky picks to get past this. If you're finding this video useful, make sure to subscribe. I've got more map guides coming soon. This wall will get broken, so you want to place your nest in this corner. You get great coverage onto the high ground, and you can also extend the range around the corner. Just place your webs like this. The coverage here is slightly better, but the nest is way more exposed, so just place it behind that corner. This nest can easily be destroyed if they go around the side, so be careful for that, and place your webs like this. We're now getting into last ditch territory. If it gets to this stage, you just need to win the fight and try and hold higher up. This can help your supports with a bit of cover, but really the primary focus here is to just win the fight and hold higher up. So you drop your nest down here, use your ult and try and win the fight. That's the only thing you can do here. An alternative last ditch spot. Stage 3 defend. This is tough as Peni. You'll struggle to get value with your nest holding main. A spot like this can maybe work. If the enemy team is switched on, it's just going to get instantly destroyed. You won't be able to rely on your nest so much on this stage, and it's going to be more a test of your mechanical skill with Peni. I feel like your best bet this stage is to hold caves with nests and mines, if you can afford not to be main with your team. Something like this will prevent them from flanking high ground. Obviously this will rely on a second tank holding the front line. You get a nice angle on the health pack as well. And a nice line of sight onto main. can fully lock off the bottom side cave using this spider nest spot, as well as lock off the health pack by using webs here. Feel like a real spider hiding out in these caves, to be honest. This spot can work with some nice web placements, but again, it's very exposed. This is one of the better spots on this stage. The nest is fairly protected and you can get great coverage onto main. Just set your webs up like this. That's it for defense. Next up is attack, and I'm going to show you a tech that you may not be using. By using a combination of the spider nest, cyber bond and web snare, you can get maximum uptime on the 25% movement speed bonus that Penny gets from being on the cyber webs. Use this at the start of rounds and when respawning. You can optimise this much better than I'm doing here, so get practicing. If you've seen my other guides, you know this is how I love playing Penny on attack. Using her mobility, mines and web snare to cause chaos in the backline for the enemy. This is my favourite spot because it locks down the health pack, and this is where all their supports are going to be standing. You can also use this spot over here. Using that flank route, I'm able to get direct access to their backline. This would be a lot smoother if my aim was better, but you can't be good at everything. And just like that, we're able to take the first point on the first fight. You can use these spots if you're the only tank, or if for whatever reason the flank route doesn't work. You'll usually be holding around here until you're able to get a pick or use some ults to get in there. You can break this wall to get another angle on the enemy team, but it takes a while, so you might want someone to help you with that. You can use a spot like this, but it's more for protection and just to tie it into your ult to take the point. Once you have the point, to prevent the defenders from coming back and touching, you want a setup that looks something like this. If they're staggering, just cover the point with the nest. I usually play main on this stage. That's not to say you can't play high ground on this stage, but I just think the nests provide too much value on the ground to be placing them high. Some people use this doorway on defense, but I think it's much better on attack. You can lock down this corner and it really squeezes the enemy team in. You've also got high ground here where you can get some mines into their backline. At this point, it's about getting your nest placed somewhere safe and just winning the fight. When you do win the fight, this is a nice spot to stop the enemy team from coming back and touching cart.
Time for some fireworks.
You can also get mines placed down here. Before we head into stage 3 attack, let me just give a big shout out to Full Metal Lamp for once again helping me with some of the spots in this video. Check him out on Twitch, guys. Stage 3 attack. I like to play left side flank here. The whole point of this is to try and cause a distraction and get some space for your team. These two nest spots can work. We want to put pressure on the enemy team and distract them, make them feel uncomfortable so they naturally start to fall back. You want to play like a spider inside the caves. They will struggle to defend from two different angles. Something like this can work, but you need to draw their attention. You need to cause a distraction, otherwise they're just going to ignore you and roll over your team. If you stick with your team and push main, these are the spots you're going to use. Like on defense, it's less about the spots and more about your mechanical skill on Penny for this stage. We're coming down to last fight territory. You want to get your nests placed somewhere safe, or use them to block off routes like this, so they have to funnel through main. If you have the time, this kind of setup works really good. And this would be just to get the last few meters of the cart over the line, and get mines placed down outside the spawn rooms. And that is my Penny Parker Klyntar guide. Check out my other map guides here and leave a comment on what map you want to see next.